Everybody doing today? I can make this better looking here. All right, that might actually be better. Testing. I don't know if anybody can hear me. Make sure the mic is working. Nope. Hold on. I don't know if I'm hearing myself or not. Let me see what's going on here. I don't know if I'm hearing myself or not. Sorry about that, guys. First 3 minutes, it's just silence. Just me working out the mic, working out how stuff works. Very small desk here. All right, so we're going to talk about budgeting. We're going to talk about student loans and then take some questions. Got a new text number for everybody who wants to come in and text. And going to get ready to get started. Yeah, so I don't hear anything on the headphones. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the lounge. Pull up a chair and take a seat. I'm Joey Ruffalo, financial coach, business strategist, and best-selling author. And this is the Prosperity Lounge, where hope meets freedom. Welcome back to the lounge. Pull up a chair and take a seat. I'm Joey Ruffalo, financial coach, business strategist, and best-selling author. And this is the Prosperity Lounge, where hope meets freedom. In our premiere episode last week, I shared my personal journey about how my family and I faced over $370,000 in debt and the steps we took to overcome it. We discussed the importance of faith, discipline, and making intentional choices to rebuild our financial lives. One of the key tools we used was a budget. Not just any budget, but one that aligned with our values and goals. As I often tell my clients and say, the budget is the foundation upon which your financial house is built. Today, we're diving deeper into this concept, and we'll explore why most budgets fail, how to create one that empowers rather than restricts, how this approach can be especially crucial as student loan repayments resume. If you're ready to take control of your finances and build a plan that works for you, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll take on a topic that matters and give you practical steps that you can use right away. And if you're ready to dig deeper, visit theprosperitylounge.com, www.theprosperitylounge.com, for tools, free resources, and access to our private community. You want to join the show today, you can call us at 865-577-4885, or you can text us during the show at 865-236-1791. And we'd love to hear your questions, your stories, and even just your wins. And if you missed last week's episode, you can check it out anywhere on any podcast network, Apple, Amazon, Spotify. You can even check out our YouTube channel, The Prosperity Lounge. You can listen to the show back, and you can even watch it back. Here I am. I'm recording right now behind the scenes. You can join us in the live stream, see what the studio looks like, see what I look like, and join in the conversation and have some fun. Got a couple people in here already just having some fun. All right. So now today's show is very personal for me as well. I mean, they're all personal. They're all my story, and they all why I help. But today's show is personal because one of the first tools I used to break free from a mountain of debt was a very, very simple tool. It's a powerful tool, but simple. And it is a budget. Now, the budget is the foundation upon which your financial house is built. I love that saying. I don't know if I heard it somewhere or I made it up. I'll take credit for it, but that's it. I'm taking credit for it. And what that basically means is if you have a strong foundation, you can put anything on top of it. If you have a weak foundation, your house is going to crumble, right? So the budget is the foundation. And then you could pile all your money goals, all your money dreams on top of it. In episode 1 last week, we talked about my debt-free journey. And well, it wouldn't have been possible without a budget. I mean, this week we're going to go deeper. We're going to talk about how most budgets fail and why they make people feel trapped, and basically how to flip the script so that your budget becomes a tool that sets you free. Now, before you groan and turn the dial, please don't. I mean, if you want to turn the dial because you don't like my voice, it's one thing, but don't turn the dial because you don't like budgets. Okay? Budgeting isn't, it's not the budgeting talk we're used to. That's not what we're going to have here, right? We're not talking about cutting out lattes. We're not talking about living off of rice and beans. We're not locking ourselves in a spreadsheet prison. Okay? We're talking about freedom. And that freedom is financial freedom. It's mental freedom. It's future freedom. And a good budget is the key to unlocking all of it. So let's just start here. Most people think of budgeting as a restriction, about saying no, about feeling guilty every time they spend money, every time they pull out their wallet, every time there's a bill, every time there's an expense, every time you want to buy something. It feels like you're restricted and guilty, and you feel bad about yourself. And that's why most budgets fail. It's not because people are lazy. It's not because people are bad with money. It's part of it. I know that was for me. But it's because the system you're using is broken, not the person. So what kind of systems are there? What's there? Why is it broken? Okay. Now, there's a few things like budgets being considered like the diet mindset. Okay. If you think about a diet and you restrict yourself, what happens when you give in? What happens if you say, I am going to cut out, for me, I'm going to cut out some chocolate peanut butter candies, some Reese peanut butter cups or something like that. It's the hardest thing for me to do. So I find alternatives, right? I feel like, oh, I'll eat healthy. This is what I need to do, et cetera, et cetera. And the first time I'm like, you know what? I can have a Reese peanut butter cup. I'm good. And I have a few. And then I am right back to where I started. And that diet did not work at all because I restricted myself and it felt like a punishment. And then when I had one, it was a reward and I just kept rewarding myself. Another another reason budgets fail is that they just don't fit your lifestyle. Okay. They're generic or overly rigid. They just don't fit with you. You try to put yourself into a box and it's just not working. You get things like life changes, kids, emergencies come up, new opportunities that you have. And these make fixed budgets useless unless they're adaptable. Okay? Quite frankly, when I'm working with a client, I mean, I tell them the budget is never final. It's always evolving. Something always comes up, and you can either be proactive or reactive. And in my experience, reactive budgets fail 100% of the time. Another thing, people often try to copy someone else's system, but your money should reflect your priorities. And lastly, make sure you have a budget that's trackable for all involved. So we'll try it for a few weeks. We'll feel like we're failing and we'll give up. But what if the real failure wasn't you, it was the method? All right. So budgeting, we talked about restriction. It's actually not. It's moving from restriction to freedom. So, for example, a budget isn't about cutting back. It's about gaining control and living on for purpose. The budget isn't supposed to be a prison. It's supposed to be a plan, a blueprint, a tool to give you permission to spend, not pressure to save. I don't want you to cut things on purpose, but with intention and goal in mind. Okay. Trying to get out of debt. Well, maybe okay. That's a great goal. That's what I use the budget for. That's why I first started budgeting. Um, maybe examine how much you're dining out, how much you're stopping for coffee. These little changes, they're not permanent. They're temporary changes to provide a permanent solution. You have the tool, you have the power. A budget, a budget equals awareness plus intention. Most people don't actually know where their money's going. I mean, they're operating on guesswork. A budget gives you visibility. It's like turning on lights in a messy room. And once you're aware of your income, your expenses, your habits, you can become intentional about your decisions. You might think you're spending $100 a month on dining out. At least in my mind, I think I do. But when you look closer, sometimes it's more like 300. That awareness doesn't mean you have to stop. It just gives you the power to choose what's worth it and what's not. So, what kind of models of budgeting are out there? You're asking. Well, I got great. You tell me all this. Now, how do I do it? What's out there? What should I be doing? There's really two types of budgets that are. I mean, there's several, but really two types of budgets that are pretty popular and pretty respectable here. Things like zero-based budgeting and values-based budgeting, or you can have a hybrid. So, zero-based budgeting is every dollar has a job. Income minus expenses equals zero. This forces you to think about where your money's going before you even spend it. And then you have something like values based budgeting. This is where you prioritize what matters most, not what everyone else says you should care about. This model adds breathing room for joy, for giving, and what fuels you. So, for example, with a zero based budgeting, if you bring in $4,000 a month, you assign every dollar $1,500 for rent, $500 for groceries, $100 for fun, $200 for debt, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No dollar left behind. At the end of the month, you have zero on the bottom line. In a values based budgeting, if travel or family time is a priority, you intentionally carve out room for that, even if it means cutting into other areas that don't bring you joy. And then you have a hybrid kind of budget, a zero based budgeting that incorporates some of your values. So if goals are important to you, like you said, like vacation or travel, You put them into the budget and you figure out, well, where other areas am I going to be cutting? Do I not have to eat out this as much this month because I really want to go on that vacation later this year? How am I going to save for it? You also look at your budget that way and say, well, am I not making enough money? Do I need to go out and get a side hustle? Do I need another job? Do I need to raise at work? Where can I make that shortfall up so I can do these goals that I want to do? Now, the real power comes from knowing where your money's going and telling it where to go. Most people manage money reactively. They put out fires as they come. A budget puts you back in the driver's seat. It's proactive, not reactive. Okay. It's about making money behave, not just hoping it stretches. It's planning for things like Christmas and new tires and holidays and oil changes and regular haircuts and putting those in the budget. The best thing the biggest aha moment for most of the clients I work with is holiday spending. You don't think about holiday spending in February, March, April. You're thinking about the previous holiday spending because you got the bills coming in from those that time. But you're not thinking about the next one, right? Now, if you saved $100 a month every month this year, you'd have $1,200 to spend at Christmas or the holidays, and that's wonderful. But when December comes around and you want to spend $1,200 and you haven't budgeted, do you have an extra $1,200 in December to spend on the holidays? The answer is more than likely no. So that's about being intentional. That's about knowing where your money's going and telling it where to go. It's also part of the when we're talking about a good budget here, saving for those unexpected moments, right? It's talking about uh, unexpected life moments. Without a budget, your paycheck disappears in 3 days. You wonder where it went. With a budget, you tell it where to go before it even hits your account, right? So going back to that dining out example earlier, where it was $100 and all of a sudden it's 300. I love coffee. I could drink coffee a couple times a day. I love finding a new coffee shop in the area. And by the way, if you have any local coffee shops that I should try out, let me know. Text me, call me, write it in the chat, and let me know because I'm always in the shop or always in the booth for a new coffee shop. But I never just knew how much I was actually spending at coffee shops, right? So I actually carved a coffee line in the budget specifically, took that out of the dining out category, made a specific coffee line. And I even went a step further and I broke it down by place. How much am I spending at Dunkin'? How much am I spending at Starbucks? How much am I spending at coffee shop A, coffee shop B? And then I can really be intentional with knowing where my money's going, how much am I spending, and if, where do I need to move some stuff around? Like, oh man, I didn't realize I went to Starbucks 4 times in the last 2 weeks. That's pretty expensive coffee. Maybe I need to go more to the one I enjoy, which is a little bit cheaper, or just not go at all, make it at home. So budgets, and this is kind of going into the next part where budgeting for, giving, saving, spending, fun, expected moments. Talking about things like budgets that leave out that fun or giving, they feel like punishment. And those ones are the first to fail. Life is unpredictable. Like I said, you need that margin in there. Birthdays, tires, surprise bills, spontaneous moments. It's the end of the school year. It's for most places, and the one thing that's going to come up is end of the year parties and teacher gifts and all that summer fun and summer camps and um, all that fun stuff for the kids that maybe we just haven't planned for yet. And it's like I'll take care of it in May. Well, May's here, so how are we going to take care for it? Build in freedom on purpose. You don't have to blow up a whole plan with guilt and panic spending. I tell my clients all the time, put in fun money, right? Put a fun money line in your budget. Even if it's $25, it's yours guilt free. Set it up monthly. Set up a monthly life happens line, a $100 buffer. And I don't know how many times that saved me, more times than I can count. Okay. It's crazy. When your budget reflects your values, not just your bills, you'll finally feel like your money's working for you, not against you. Remember, you don't have a money problem, you have a plan problem. And a good plan gives you peace. Now, back that up a second. You may also have a money problem because as you build that plan out, you may not have enough money to work your plan, but that's something you can easily fix. Okay. And that plan that you're creating needs to be accessible to all involved. It does no good for one spouse to quote have it in their head, and I don't worry about it. I got it in my head when the other spouse isn't a mind reader. Having a printable or edible version on the computer that you both review, make changes to, and sign off of will give everyone ownership of the budget and share in the successes and failures. These failures are okay, they're only temporary, but they allow you to improve each and every month. Without a plan, you're lost. And if you don't know where you're going, you might end up somewhere else. And one of the biggest areas where that shared clarity and intentional budgeting matters most right now is with student loans. You don't need to panic about student loans. You need a plan. And a budget is that plan. It gives you power, peace, and options. It turns chaos into clarity. And whether you're paying off debt, applying for forgiveness, or just trying to stay afloat, your budget is your lifeline. Now let's bring this home with some real world financial issues that are affecting millions right now, and that's student loans. As of March of this year, 2025, Americans owe over, you guys ready for this? 1.77 trillion in student loan debt. Yes, trillion with a T. That's just unbelievable. Payments are back, confusion is everywhere, and a lot of borrowers are already behind, some without even knowing it. Your loan servicer might have changed, the notices might not have arrived, and suddenly you're in delinquency or default before you even knew it hit you. So what can you do? You build a plan, and it starts with the budget. Budgeting is your defense against debt chaos. It's your strategy, your protection, and your path forward. So I'm going to give you some student loan survival tips. We could do a whole show just on student loans. We can do a whole month just on student loans, but here's some basic survival tips to get you through this process of uncertainty right now. First thing you're going to do is talk to your loan servicer today. Don't guess, don't Google, call them directly. Most are willing to work with you if you're proactive, letting them know you're serious. And that goes a long way with working with them. Okay. Explore repayment plans. There's things like the SAVE plan that lowers payments based on income and family size. Now, there's some potential forgiveness in there as well after 20 or 25 years, but explore that. And I know that's been in the news lately under a lawsuit, and we don't know if that's going to stay around, but explore that option. Income-driven repayment plans, or IDRs. Those are capped monthly payments. Standard and extended plans. I mean, those are good for long-term stability stuff. Understand your temporary relief tools. There's things like deferment, which is for like in school, unemployment, hardship. They have interest, and that interest may or may not accrue depending on the type of deferment you get. And then there's forbearance. So forbearance is a short-term hardship. Interest usually does accrue on that, but payments don't. Again, use these with caution. These are stopgaps, not solutions. Okay? Look into forgiveness options, things like public service loan forgiveness, teacher nonprofit forgiveness, but don't depend on forgiveness. Make a plan that works now. And remember, student loans and taxes are not, generally not, I know taxes for sure, some cases student loans, but don't rely on it. Student loans are not dischargeable in bankruptcy. Ignoring the problem will not make it disappear. But budgeting gives you control. And just like any person, changes to them can and materially, most likely will occur. Okay, these programs. The SAVE plan, like I said, is in jeopardy a little bit. Again, you have the power and control. Make it a priority. Get rid of them. and then you never have to deal with them. So student loans aren't just a financial issue. They're a mental health issue, a business issue, a relationship issue. But the first step towards peace and towards peace of mind is building a budget. And that includes them, not avoids them. Take back control, take a breath, build a plan that works. Now I'm going to open up the inbox here and get some couple questions to you guys on budgeting. We're hitting almost the top of the hour, so I'm going to hit a couple questions real quick here that I received. I got one from Taylor in Nashville via Instagram who said, I just found out my loan servicer changed and I haven't received any statements. What should I do? Well, that's a great question, Taylor. This is happening to a lot of people. So your first step is log into studentaid.gov to see who your current servicer is. It may have changed during the pandemic pause. It probably has. Probably changed a few times. So log into studentaid.gov, see who it is. From there, call them, confirm your new balance, confirm your payment due date, and make sure your contact info is up to date. Don't wait for a bill. Okay, be proactive. That's the word of the day, proactive, and you won't fall behind. Again, that word again. I keep saying it, proactive. That is, I can't stress it enough. We got, let's see here, Destiny. Destiny contacted us via the YouTube Live last week and said, budgeting stresses me out. I feel like it reminds me that I don't have enough money. Well, Destiny, that hits home, man. That's the same here. That's why most budgets fail. Traditional budgets feel restrictive, but the right budget should feel empowering. You don't need to track every penny. You just need to know what's coming in and what's going out, and where you want your money to go. Something is better than nothing, and something will improve over time. Okay. You don't start a diet and get to your goal in 1 week. You don't start at the gym and start maxing out weights the next day. It's improvement over time. And it's interesting question and timing on this because that's why we built a new tool that makes it easier to budget. And that's something I'm really excited about sharing with you guys. We just launched this new budgeting tool called the Prosperity Planner. It's designed to give you clarity, not confusion. It's built to help real-world people like yourself build a budget that actually works, not one that makes you feel trapped or overwhelmed. So whether you're facing student loans right now, rising bills, or just trying to stop living paycheck to paycheck, the Prosperity Planner helps you take back control. No spreadsheets, no guilt, no fluff. Well, I shouldn't say no spreadsheets. We built one for you. You don't have to build it yourself. Tracks your income, expenses, goals, and then compare month to month how you're doing. So right now you could try it free for 30 days. Head over to theprosperitylounge.com. Scroll down to the bottom of this thing. You'll see the tab that says budget app. And I'll walk you right through it. It's actually cool because there's a little AI integrated system in there that'll walk you through it. And that AI is me saying hi to you. You can ask me questions and I will do my best to answer them. So remember, the budget isn't about restriction. It's about possibility. And that's what the Prosperity Lounge is all about. So head on over to theprosperitylounge.com. If you're not a member, join today. It's free. You get access to our 8-step action guide of how to stop living paycheck to paycheck. And we are towards the top of the hour, so I'm gonna wrap it up today and say, man, that went fast. So that's it for today's show. Thanks for pulling up a seat in the Prosperity Lounge. I hope this episode helped you shift your mindset and gave you the confidence to break free from the chains of traditional budgeting. Remember, you were made for more clarity, more control, more peace with your money. If you found value in today's show, do me a favor. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Follow, subscribe, leave a review on your favorite podcast platform, places like Spotify, Apple, Pandora, iHeartRadio, more. You can also catch the replay on YouTube. You can even join in the free conversation on our YouTube live stream every week. And especially Enter the lounge and join the conversation in our free community at theprosperitylounge.com. And hey, ask your questions in real time and get answers that fit your life. We'd love to see you, love to hear you, love to talk to you. Until next time, stay faithful, stay fearless, and remember, freedom lives where faith and action meet. The lounge is always open, and so is your next breakthrough. This is the Prosperity Lounge. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. And thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you guys next week. Yep.